What's up, guys? Fosmith here, and I'm coming to you today with another Twitter drama video. Yeah, I know. Well, this is courtesy of Just Some Guy. If you don't know who Just Some Guy is, he is a YouTuber that focuses mainly on comics and manga and the politics involved therein. He's a African American guy from Chicago. Very insightful guy. I like his videos. Please follow him if you haven't already. But he's citing something that Gerry Conway, the creator of Punisher and Power Girl, said. And as you can see on the screen, it's right here. Gerry Conway posits, given the number of angry replies from manga fans to my post suggesting some manga art is pedrastic and misogynist, I can only assume that there are lots of incels who beat off to drawings of oversexed preteen girls. Excellent point, Gary. I can see why they pay you the big bucks. That must be why you haven't worked since 1984. But, yeah, and Just Some Guy shoots back. He says, yes, nothing brings manga fans to American comics like accusing those fans of being pedos and sexist for liking manga. But even then, how shitty are American comics that people would rather buy perv mags than any of your books? Valid point. But I posit Gary, or Gerry, however that's pronounced, Conway is actually onto something. And that is, yes, manga is anything and everything. It's just not cape shit like American comics are. I know there's American comics like A History of Violence or Scott Pilgrim that aren't part of that genre, but it's still a fighting comic where you're supposed to beat the other guy. I mean, it's very limited in scope, and the genre itself is not very expansive. Now, what I mean by this is, if you look at the imported manga in America, manga that's produced in Japan, yes, there's a lot of shonen manga where it's similar to that, like Dragon Ball or Doctor Stone or any of the Jump or Morning or Action comics. But if you look at manga in general in Japan, the genre runs the entire gamut of storytelling. One thing I would like to point out is a lot of the dramas, live action television dramas in Japan, are based off of manga. So you have lots of dramas where it's about marriage or relationships or about careers or about food, even. Say, for example, The Lonely Gourmet, Kodoku no Gurume, is based off of a comic by Taniguchi Jiro, who passed away 2 years ago. And that is nothing but the main character going to local, out of the way restaurants and essentially analyzing the food. What makes the food good? What makes the food bad? What makes it unique? And every single story is that. There's no bad guy. There's no punching somebody. There's nothing like that. And I posit that if what you get from manga is you're attracted to the characters, perhaps in a sexual way, or if you're trying to fill some void in your life, that's perfectly fine. The reader should be able to take away from a story what they want. It's not up to anybody to gatekeep what's wrong and what's right. Of course, I draw the line at normal free speech limitations, like you shouldn't make a story that explicitly threatens somebody. That's your rights end at the end of my fist, sort of thing. But other than that, I think you should be free to write and draw whatever you want. And that's actually something we don't have in the West anymore. And it's ironically something that such a stolid and rigid society like Japan still has, even in their popular fiction. So, Gerry, you're correct. Yes, if people want to do this from their comics, then more power to them. I just find it funny that somebody that wrote a revenge fantasy like Punisher or a sex fantasy like Power Girl could have such a smooth brain take on the subject. It's pretty ironic. All right, thanks a lot, guys. It's Fossmith, a little bit of rant today. If you like this kind of video, and if you want to hear more about the manga industry or Japan in general, please hit that like button or subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And make sure to go check out Just Some Guy's channel as well. He's a great YouTuber. Not just because I agree with everything he says, but I think his presentation is really good. All right, see you guys. Peace.